The epidemic of cowardice that exists in our world is real, and those seeking to destroy our freedoms are leveraging this fact against us. I release a video most days, and I speak out using my voice, limited as it is by YouTube, so please feel free to share and amplify the message that this video contains. Please share. I do so in order to advance and to protect freedom. And every day that I speak out, invariably I get attacked by some leftists using their typical ad hominem attacks. And it doesn't really have an effect on me, but even if it did, I would continue to speak out because this battle is not really for me. I've led a really good life so far. It's more so for my children and the freedoms that I wish that they have ongoing into the future. This is a battle that was fought for by our veterans whose sacrifices are honored in cemeteries around the nation. 20-year-olds at the apex of health, giving their lives so the haters of the left can have the freedom of speech to denigrate me, you, our ex-president, or Elon Musk, who of course invariably they call racist, whereas I merely recognize him as the wealthiest man in the world who happens to be an African American. Now, compare the sacrifices of the veterans of yesteryear to that which most people are willing to make today. I offered to interview several people, enabling them to tell their stories, who initially said yes. One was called a Nazi in her native homeland of Germany for daring to stand up to the edicts of the government regarding COVID. In Germany, they called her a Nazi for daring to stand up to the government. The second was a Canadian, the number 2 salesman in his large tech company, who got fired for refusing to take the COVID jab. Another is an admissions officer at a prestigious university in California who is fearful that if he appears on camera, he will be fired. These are all people who have been cut by the sword of woke in one way or another, who have gone so far to flee their attackers by moving to another country or to remain with a cloak of invisibility as they walk amongst them. On an individual basis, I understand it. They all have their own private fears. They have their own lives to attend to. On the other hand, by remaining silent, they are allowing these authoritarians to gain more and more control over our institution, allowing them to lull others into sleep, made to believe that the number of people who disagree is tiny and that you dare not speak out, lest you be struck by the club. So mind yourself. Why do you think that those atop of the FBI and DOJ labeled parents who came to school board meetings and stood up to critical race theory being taught in their schools as domestic terrorists? Why do you think that they are making an example of people who defended themselves during the Black Lives Matter riots of the summer of 2020, who dared to protect their property or themselves, like the McCloskeys in St. Louis? Why do you think the FBI recently sent 30 agents to raid in front of the man's children, a Pennsylvania pro-lifer, for a shoving match that took place outside an abortion clinic over 2 years ago for theoretically blocking access to such services? It is to make an example of them so that the rest of you stay in line, to scare you as to the repercussions of raising your head out of the sand and acknowledging that something in society is going haywire. They rely on your silence because the more outspoken you are, the more you will give other people the unconscious permission to do the same. Courage, my friends, is infectious, so raise your voice publicly. The same way that people in Germany of the 1930s wished they would have when the Nazis were rising. The same way they could have when they saw the murderous raids of the Bolsheviks in their mother, Russia. Let's do that now. while the price that we pay is smaller than it will be when they completely take over. Now, I've been given the heads up that the FBI will be raiding me in just a few minutes here. I'm not happy about it, but it sure as hell will never stop me from speaking out. I hope that you do the same and join me.